Right before Christmas, Abby and Ryan get the gifts for their kids mixed up in a busy toy store. As Abby tries to get her son's gift back on a busy weekend, she realizes how great Ryan is. Abby finishes writing an article about children's sleep rituals while making a gingerbread house. Her editor, Cheryl, drops by with some gifts. They work for a magazine, and Cheryl already knows Abby has punctually finished the article. She knows Abby is a huge fan of Dr. Thomas Baxter, who is a childcare expert. Abby lives by his books, and he's the reason she has a very organized wall schedule. Cheryl knows he's going to be in town the next day, and has agreed to an interview with their magazine. She wants Abby to write the article about parenting over the holidays. This is a great opportunity, but Abby needs to finish and submit it by 9 the next day. It's also 3 days before Christmas, and Abby's schedule as a single mom is already packed. This already sounds like a bad idea. Cheryl knows if Abby pulls this off, she will be made a regular columnist. Abby decides to move shopping for her son Elliot to that day, and push the tree shopping a day later. This frees up the morning for the interview. Cheryl is impressed by how thorough her calendar is. Abby has also planned the perfect Christmas for Elliot with activities, meals, and his dream gift. Elliot has been talking about a programmable remote-controlled robot that walks, dances, and sings for weeks. Sounds like a dream. Elliot's dad used to get him a robot every year, and Abby wants to continue the tradition. This robot is sold out everywhere, but she already has one in holding at a local town store. Ryan's boss, Candace, feels he can get the corner office if he continues working like this with the clients. She wants Terrence and Ryan to make all the efforts to close this deal. She also invites them to a partner's holiday party. Ryan's assistant Emily has found the toy he has been trying to find for his daughter, Jasmine. What are the odds? She has put it on hold for him, but Ryan needs to collect it soon because of the busy season. Ryan knows he can't let go of the unicorn and rushes to the store. Abby and Ryan arrive at the store around the same time, but he's constantly on the phone with Terrence. Abby insists she needs her toy first. Ryan is sure the clerk, Patty, made eye contact with him first. What a convincing excuse. Abby informs Patty about the robot on hold for her, while Ryan describes the rainbow light-up unicorn with voice recording features. He insists he's in a rush, but Abby doesn't like that he's not respecting her time. They discuss how unique both their toys are and how it has taken them weeks to find them at this store. Seems like fate, right? Patty agrees to help both of them and asks them to pick out a free stocking from the back wall. They both butter Patty up, so she helps them more. Love this competitive spirit. They also like the same music box and start fighting about who should have it. Patty insists it's only for display, and their charms won't work on her. Abby finds Ryan again at the counter and thinks he's too distracted to be waiting in a line. He keeps discussing a merger for a factory in Eugene. Patty brings their presents right after Abby drops all the stuffed toys. They quickly pick up their presents from the counter and leave. Elliot is worried about ringing bells at the Christmas concert because his hands keep shaking. He keeps messing up during the rehearsals and is worried he will freeze up in front of a crowd. Abby asks him to imagine he's playing for an audience of snowmen who keep melting, which makes him laugh. That was too easy. Elliot is curious about her bags and insists he needs the robot that year. Elliot wants to name him Orson from one of his dad's favorite movies. Abby doesn't want to ruin her surprise and is also worried since the babysitter has canceled. The schedule is looking tighter with the interview now, but she knows she can manage if she wraps the presents that night. Good luck with that. Abby is excited when she comes to the robot present, but finds a unicorn with a recorded message for Jasmine instead. Elliot wonders who this gift is for, so Abby explains the mix-up. She assures him she will find a way to get it back. Abby tries to remember the details of Ryan's conversation and searches for him online all night long. She's surviving on a lot of coffee after pulling an all-nighter. She has found that he works at the Sloan & Hendricks law firm. She calls the firm and asks the receptionist about a man who's full of himself, but all the lawyers there are worth a shot. She refuses to help Abby without the name of the lawyer. Abby turns up at the firm with Elliot and finds Ryan in a meeting. She holds up the unicorn against the glass wall to get his attention. Ryan gets distracted and claims she is someone from a toy donation charity he's working with. He asks the clients to clear all their doubts while he takes care of this. Abby explains the mix-up and plays the recorded message for Jasmine. He drags her to his office, but Jasmine spots the unicorn and gets excited. Ryan is now mad at Abby for ruining his surprise. Abby thinks it would have been a bigger surprise if Jasmine got the wrong gift. She has a point. Ryan explains he doesn't have the robot because he sent it to his ex-wife's place. Jasmine is spending Christmas with her. Ryan offers to give her the address, but Abby insists he needs to get her out of this mess. He's busy negotiating a multi-million-dollar deal and doesn't have time for a robot. What a nice thing to say in front of kids. Elliot starts describing how important Orson is to him, And even Jasmine asks Ryan to help them. He makes an excuse to step out and promises to have the contract sent over by the end of the day. Ryan watches as Abby forces Elliot into a jacket to avoid the Christmas cold. Her car is missing since she ignored the 15-minute parking sign right next to it. Ryan takes them in his car, which Abby feels is big enough to fit his ego. They're surely going to get along great. Jasmine wants to name her unicorn Moxie and tries to be friends with Elliot. Abby understands she and Ryan are different people, but feels they should cooperate for their kids. Abby still blames him for being distracted at the store, while Ryan feels she overparents Elliot. Finally, someone said it. She reminds him this ruined her entire day because she's missing her important interview. She also doesn't have a car to pick up her parents from the airport. Abby also judges Ryan for letting an 8-year-old like Jasmine use a phone. He doesn't have screen time policies, and Jasmine lets him watch baseball before they play poker. What's wrong with that? Abby starts taking notes and is inspired to write an article about distracted parenting. She managed to reschedule the interview for that afternoon with Cheryl somehow. She admires Brooke's property, which seems like Santa's mansion to Elliot. Jasmine brags about Brooke's new husband Kenneth, who set up the decorations and can build anything. Ryan thinks he can't build a case as well as him. "We feel you, Ryan." Brooke asks Ryan about the emergency since she's late for the couple's yoga with Kenneth. She mistakes Abby for Ryan's girlfriend, Lexi, but Abby is glad she's not dating him. She recognizes Kenneth from the hottest doctors on the Seattle calendar and remembers he kept his March 1 up for 3 months. That's too much information. Kenneth explains he did the shoot to raise donations for a new hospital wing. Ryan is irritated with Mr. Perfect and reminds them of the reason they have come to the house. Abby explains the robot mix-up, but the housekeeper has already wrapped all of Jasmine's gifts. Brooke also refuses to let them tear all the gifts apart. Makes sense. Abby asks Kenneth to bring out his stethoscope so he can listen to a whirling sound in the gifts. Brooke wonders what happened to Lexi, and Ryan insists things are still great between them. Seems like they are. Kenneth hears a motor in one of the gifts, and Elliot unwraps it to find the robot he has been looking for. Brooke asks Ryan to get Jasmine back to them by Christmas Eve. They're heading out to Aspen the day after Christmas for skiing. Kenneth has an early present for Jasmine and gives her a smartwatch. Ouch, that has to hurt. As they head back, Abby understands Ryan's need for a big car since his ex-wife Brooke hit the lottery. Her words, not mine. Abby feels he's handsome, successful, and a British cardiologist who is also a construction genius. Way to rub it in. Ryan still feels the worst part is that Kenneth is nice, so he can't hate him. Abby thinks Ryan must be nice too if he's letting Brooke have Jasmine for Christmas. Ryan explains his place isn't Christmas ready, so it's probably for the best. He admires how Abby found the robot back at the house, and she admits she's great at handling crises. She has no idea about how to handle real life. Who does? Abby tries to find out which impound lot has her car, but they're not picking up. She's worried about her interview and her parents. Ryan also feels bad he has to work on a contract on his special day with Jasmine. Abby suggests they can help each other. She offers to watch Jasmine while he works if he helps pick up her parents from the airport in his car. She knows how desperate he is, so even he agrees to the deal. Ryan graciously takes Abby's parents' bags and pretends to be a driver for a while. Chester and Clarice are glad to meet Jasmine and sing Christmas music with Ryan and the kids. Ryan tries to get some work done, but Abby doesn't allow screen time during lunch. Did he sign up for that? Ryan is fascinated by the colored wall calendar. Abby explains she follows a modern parenting theory that believes children are comfortable with routine and structure. He reminds her about the shopping mix-up and how her world isn't always so orderly. Someone had to say it. Ryan insists he prefers happy chaos, but Abby feels it's just distracted parenting. This is also why she thinks Jasmine always wants his attention. Ryan thinks she's a great mom, but her overparenting might have made Elliot a little scared. He notices how nervous Elliot is about the Christmas concert. He distracts the children with a crazy idea that he promises Abby he won't actually do. Or will he? Clarice feels Ryan is great with kids and a real catch. Abby still feels he's not a committed parent because he's using his phone when the kids are on the swing. Elliot takes Jasmine to his treehouse on the ground because Abby feels it's safer. Of course she does. Jasmine explains Ryan lets her keep a phone so she can text someone when he forgets to pack her lunch. Abby has never forgotten Elliot's lunch, and Jasmine is just impressed she makes him sushi. Abby's editor is having trouble rescheduling the meeting, so she asks if she can interview Ryan instead. Jasmine notices that Abby and Ryan are getting along and feels they should set them up. That will surely not backfire. Ryan agrees to let her interview him for distracted parenting if she can watch the kids for an hour when he works. She feels everything is a negotiation with him, while everything seems to be a teachable moment with her. I can't argue with both. The kids insist they want to see Santa right away, and Abby feels that might give her a chance to interview Ryan. The kids feel they'll either murder each other by Christmas or kiss. Our bet is on murder. For her interview, Abby wonders how his day as a single working dad with Jasmine starts. When he explains they try a different restaurant for breakfast every morning, Abby judges him for not having a domestic routine. He insists it's important to keep Christmas exciting because he doesn't get to see Jasmine much. He saw Jasmine a lot last year when Brooke and Kenneth were renovating their castle. Of course, a castle. He only gets Jasmine every other weekend now, so he feels the pressure of keeping things exciting. Kenneth is always showering Jasmine with gifts, but Abby still doesn't think he needs to compete. She points out how Jasmine hasn't kept the unicorn down since he gave it to her. Ryan feels proud of knowing she wanted the unicorn. He recorded his voice in it so she could always hear him when he was not around. That explains the embarrassing message. Abby feels that surprisingly sweet, coming from him. Abby explains that she's always so particular because she has too much to do. After Elliot's dad passed away 3 years ago, it was very tough during Christmas. She tries her best to keep up the traditions that Elliot also enjoys with his dad, including the robot. Abby somehow feels ruining Ryan's Christmas surprise for Jasmine was a good thing. He got to see her face light up, which wouldn't have happened if she opened the unicorn at Brooke's place. I can't argue with that. He also almost apologizes for being rude at the toy store. The children take them for couples skating, but Abby keeps slipping on the ice. Ryan admits he's not sure of how good he is at parenting. Abby now thinks he must have done something right because of the way Jasmine turned out. Why the sudden change of heart? Abby learns that Baxter can only do an interview at 3, but Elliot's concert is half an hour after that. She asks Ryan if he and Jasmine can tag along to give Elliot a boost. She promises to give him time later so he can work on his contract. Doesn't sound too promising. He thinks she could be great as a lawyer because he's finding himself agreeing to her suggestions. Or maybe there's another reason. He asks for her help with a cocktail party that night since she hates showing up alone for such things. He explains that he broke up with Lexi a month ago and didn't want to say anything to Brooke. Abby lets Baxter know she's a huge fan and has his color-coded chart on her kitchen wall. She apologizes for missing their interview earlier and assures him she's usually punctual. He remembers a quote from his book about how parents should always expect the unexpected during the holidays. Pretentious much? Ryan can see how nervous Elliot is but helps him get to the stage. Chester is glad he's helping out and admits that Abby wasn't always such a planner. She became more organized after Elliot's dad passed because the schedule helped her get through her day. Ryan tries to get some work done, but shuts it when Elliot comes on the stage. He instantly runs backstage, so Ryan follows him. Elliot doesn't want to ring bells and wants Abby. Ryan makes him comfortable enough to talk to him. Ryan admits he also used to get nervous as a kid in front of an audience. He reminds Elliot of his robot, who can do so many things because he doesn't care who's watching. He asks Elliot to just have fun at the concert, but Elliot thinks it's easy for him to say since he's in the audience. Ryan agrees and tries to do something about it. Abby is distracted at the interview and wants to check on Elliot. Baxter reminds her she already stood him up once and asks her to focus. Abby genuinely wonders if it's okay to stop the planning and give in to happy chaos for a while. We think it is. Like his book, Baxter still insists children need structure and accountability. She is impressed that he provided all that to his kids. There's surely more to the story. Abby is shocked to learn that he had a lot of help from his wife and caregivers, which is not mentioned in his book. Makes sense. She reminds him some people have to do all this alone, and it's not fair to expect perfection from them. She has decided to not have a plan now and ends the interview early. She admits she's leaving because Elliot's concert is more important to her. She arrives just in time to find Elliot performing on stage and Ryan giving him moral support as a tree. How adorable is that? Abby thanks Ryan for what he did for Elliot that day. Jasmine remembers the time she lost her doll in a museum. Ryan climbed into a lunar capsule to get it for her. They are not allowed into the museum anymore, but she's glad she got her doll. Can there be a better dad? Abby admires that about him and admits her interview with Baxter was horrible. She hates that she based her parenting techniques on a guy who had all the help in the world. She still thinks she can fix the article with some of his quotes. Clarice suggests getting a tree that day, so Abby decides to ditch her schedule and get one. About time. Abby explains that she already has a method of rating trees by shape, scent, and freshness. Of course she does. Ryan admits he spends a quiet Christmas alone and goes for a jog when Jasmine is not around. He was working at a small environmental law firm earlier, which was something he loved. Brooke wanted him to be more ambitious, so he changed firms and started doing well, but it was too late for them. Ryan finds the perfect tree and doesn't let her consult any checklist. She likes it and asks the kids for their approval. She still wants to check out better options, but Clarice stops her. Clarice points at Ryan when she insists Abby should take a tree she likes before someone snatches it up. Subtle, but genius. Ryan is worried Abby is taking too long to get dressed for his party. Chester knows as a married man that it's best to smile when a woman makes the effort to dress up for you. Finally, a man is written by a woman. Jasmine also agrees with Chester, and Ryan feels speechless when Abby steps out. He takes his time to let her know she looks amazing and heads out with her. Abby wonders if people at the party are assuming she's Lexi. Ryan suggests he can introduce her as a friend and takes her to Candace. Terrence immediately takes a jab at Ryan about not believing he has a girlfriend. So Abby pretends she's Lexi. Terrence has been trying to impress Candace with his plans of getting married in Maui. She met her husband there too in college. Candace is curious about Abby, so she claims she met Ryan last year while shopping. They both describe how taken they were by each other and just don't mention they met one day ago. Good call. Candace feels Ryan's girlfriend is a catch, but Abby insists Ryan is the real catch for her firm. She points out how hard he works and deserves to be a partner at the firm. What a save. Candace is impressed and asks Ryan to keep his phone on for big news later that night. Terrence almost recognized Abby from the office earlier, so they decided to dance. Abby understands why Ryan is so competitive because she can tell Terrence is a jerk. He thanks her for standing up for him. She feels bad the real Lexi couldn't join him, but he assures her it's good she dumped him. Lexi wanted him to leave Jasmine on a Thanksgiving weekend when he had her. It was the final straw for her, but Abby feels he's better off without her. She finds the impound lot where her car is, and Ryan offers to drop her off. She invites him over later so Jasmine can also hang out with Elliot while he works. Oh right, he still has to work. Abby has a plan for decorating the tree, but everyone does it randomly. She decides to take it easy and let them do their thing. Ryan and Jasmine are doing this after a long time, and even Abby admits it looks great without a plan. She asks Ryan to turn off his phone for a while so he stops waiting so much for the good news. Ryan asks about the popcorn Abby planned to string on the tree. He starts throwing it at all of them, and they get into a fight. How original is that? As the kids play, Ryan and Abby work. They're almost done, and I love how happy the kids seem. Clarice can't find the cocoa, so Ryan and Abby offer to get some for her. Apparently they're doing everything together now. Abby is satisfied with her article since she has shared her opinions with Baxter's quotes. She needs a quick proofread before she submits it that night. Baxter used to be her personal guru, but now he makes her feel short as a mom. Ryan knows that's not true, and even Abby admits he has raised a great child in Jasmine. Ryan feels bad about his older self, who doesn't know how amazing it is to have a daughter. They're both glad that they got their toys mixed up. So are we. She finds it funny that she's appreciating the moonlight with a guy she hated yesterday. He admits the holiday pressure can be a lot, and Abby thinks of it as a Christmas puzzle. Abby has been doing everything to avoid surprises till now, but admits it's time for a change. Ryan has his own surprise for her and gifts her the music box from the store they both liked. He was able to negotiate with the store owner to put a smile on her face. It can't get better than this. Clarice, Chester, Elliot, and Jasmine are spying on them through a telescope. Ryan feels it's important to look up and enjoy the lights during Christmas. He almost kisses Abby, but they get distracted when Elliot's telescope falls off. Oh wow, what timing. They play some games of charades, and Abby is proud of Jasmine's talent. When it's Abby's turn, Ryan gets a call from Candace. Their client, Williams, has a cold feet, and they're not ready to sign yet. Williams has sent an email with a lot of concerns, so Ryan promises to look at it. He immediately opens his mail on Abby's computer, and is almost done when she comes out to check on the cookies. Ryan updates Abby about his deal falling apart, but she gets paranoid about him using her computer. She never lets anyone use it because she has it organized in a certain way. What a surprise. She hadn't saved the last version of her article and had lost that too when Ryan closed it. Ryan feels there must be some way to get it back, but Abby has missed her deadline. Nothing like this ever happens to her, and she refuses to move on like Ryan suggests. He offers to help her fix it, but she burns the cookies too. She doesn't like that Ryan is pretending it's not a big deal, and regrets getting distracted and taking it easy. Ryan feels bad, and Abby makes it worse by pointing out he should focus on being more present. Abby feels it's always best when she sticks to a schedule and clarifies she's not ready for surprises like him. Ryan understands what she means, and leaves with Jasmine. The next morning, Elliot suggests Orson is missing Moxie, and feels weird that a robot and unicorn can be friends. He remembers what Jasmine told him about Ryan being lonely on Christmas and feeling bad. Ryan is still trying to reach Williams a day before Christmas. Candace asks him to not work so hard and knows this is not the first client who got cold feet. She promotes Ryan and gives him the corner office because he has been made partner. She feels such last-minute hitches are common, but understands some things can't be rushed. Abby starts writing an article about the pressure of Christmas on parents and how she got help from another single parent this time. Jasmine asks Ryan to wait to watch the kittens pop out through the window. She admits Kenneth wanted to bring her there, but she wanted to continue her tradition with Ryan. He wants to take her on a shopping spree after his raise, but Jasmine just likes looking at the windows with him. Ryan is glad Jasmine is taking Moxie to Aspen and asks her to get ready for Brooks. Ryan gets a link to Abby's article and reads about how he has inspired her with the way he raises his daughter. She admits she's ready for surprises and doesn't want to control her path or have a plan. She tears up her wall schedule and wants to do Christmas without a plan. Elliot gets a new telescope for Christmas, and even Chester is excited with his gift on Christmas morning. Ryan comes back from a lonely gig and finds Moxie and Orson on his couch. Abby explains that she worked out a deal with Brooke so he can have Jasmine for Christmas till 8 that night. She also wants to bring them to her place for a proper family Christmas. He thanks her for cutting him some slack in her article and hopes to be a better dad than she describes him. As they all enjoy dinner, the kids get excited about snow outdoors. Abby and Ryan move ahead and discuss how weird it is that star-crossed toys brought them together. Clarice asks them to look up since they're standing right under the mistletoe. What are the odds? Ryan finally kisses her, and they celebrate a huge family Christmas together.